Welcome back, all our 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation, joined once again by Lane DeLong. Getting ready for another Warhammer 40K battle report, and probably by popular demand, we're actually going to be getting right into the game real quick here because we recorded a bunch of other detailed videos. One for my army because I went on a nostalgia trip with some of my old models. After I'll say your what were they? What was the models that you had, the old school for your DeathGuard?
Oh, the Inquisitorial Henchmen.
The Inquisitorial Henchmen.
All metal.
They got me in a soft spot. So I'm using some old school models, built a Grey Knight list. Lane brought DeathGuard. I'm testing something. We'll talk about that for a second, talk about the testing concept. For the most part, though, I'm testing something I've had in theory. Lane has kind of some tests, kind of some different tweaks to an old style list.
This is fun. DeathGuard have a lot of shooting potential, especially when you ally in like the War Dog Brigands. I decided to go with an all-combat DeathGuard list, and I'm bringing the Miasmic Malignifier to stick on the table. I go through all this in my my army video, so make sure you check that out. But I've got some fun stuff that I haven't played a whole lot lately, including the stupid fortification that no one takes because it's 115 points.
For me, I brought a lot of guys in regular, I would say power armor, but I get a 2-up save, so it's not really power armor.
Power armor.
Power armor. Super power armor. And 2 Land Raiders, because Land Raiders, baby. So we'll take a quick peek at those lists and show those real fast. Guys, as always, subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell to get notified on all the content that we put out here. Army videos, army roster videos, a lot more competitive talk with some of our lists and where they're going to evolve and how they're going to evolve, and many, many more. The sky's the limit, talking to a lot of people about a lot of cool ideas. We'll see what we can put together. All right, so Lane, had a good weekend at Cincinnati. We're playing this game to kind of give a little bit of a breather from some of the more competitive style lists. I wanted to kind of jump over on Necron, so this is fun to try out for Grey Knights. Let's take a quick look at your DeathGuard. What'd you bring today?
All right, guys, this is my DeathGuard list. Yeah, DeathGuard, not Death Watch today. Take a look. Just need a breather just for a week or two, guys. Give me a little break. So we're staying with Death. So it's DeathGuard. Today we have 6 characters. I have 1 Lord of Virulence. We have 3 of the Biologus Putrefiers and 2 of the Foul Blight Spawns. We have 3 10-man bricks of Plague Marines. These are the close combat Plague Marines, so each one has 4 heavy Plague weapons and 4 bubotic weapons. We have a 6-man brick of the Death Shroud Terminators. We have 1 lone Fetid Bloat Drone. We have 3 Rhinos that are going to be taking those Plague Marines around the table. We have of course, they got the Nurglings, kind of squad of Nurglings. We've got 3 of the War Dog Carnivores. These are the close combat ones. If you're watching your video closely, they're not exactly WYSIWYG. One of them has a melted gun on them, but they're all just carnivores. So they got the claw and they got the chain sword. These guys are something a little bit different from the Brigands that everybody runs. They're close combat, so we'll see how they do today. And we have the Miasmic Malignifier. I'm going to drop this thing on the table and see if it keeps the Rhinos alive for a little while. All right, DJ, what are you bringing?
All right, here's my Grey Knight list. And the primary concept of this is throw as many silver models on the table. Hope there's a lot of high elevated ceiling lighting, and my opponent is so blinded that they make mistakes. This army, I actually have more models than Lane. I have 57 models in this army to his 54. I looked that up before.
You counted my models?
Yes, I counted your models, Lane.
You weirdo.
So this army, I have 2 Land Raiders. One is going to be the Godhammer variant with the Godhammer las cannons. The other will be a Crusader to give him try him out, have some fun with him today. Again, this army is going to be very, very command point resilient. I'm going to need command points for days. If I can get some CP and I can run this thing up there, there might be some hope. We'll see. I just want to play with both my old school Land Raiders. Again, old school is going to be the concept of a lot of this, as a lot of this army is just things that I have a lot of heart to, a lot of customization. Check out my video for the full details there. Back to the list, I have 5 Purgation Marines with Psy Cannons, 3 10-man squads of Interceptors, which is the primary thing I'm trying out today. I still have my Purifier Bomb led by Castle and Crow, and 2 5-man squads of Strike that both have a Psy Cannon in there. So this is something that when I said testing, there's one specific thing that I am testing.
I know what you're testing today. I know what you're testing today. You're testing genes.
Yes, right.
We're Yeah, I guess he's just trying the genes out today. See if that gives you a win. I think you're going to lose today just because of the.
I'm going to lose because I don't have my pajama
There's
power.
no pajama pants.
See, that's going to be that's the thing. Yeah. See, because I'm not taking my list seriously, I have to be taken seriously. So I'm in jeans.
Yeah, jeans definitely.
But when I'm playing a serious list,
mm-hmm.
I don't need to be physically taken seriously because I put it all out on the table.
Okay.
Pulled that one out of nowhere. Anyway, so with this list, 30 interceptors.
Mm-hmm.
They have really crazy movement abilities, and I took 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things
they shoot and then they can move again.
Correct.
So and deep strike, shoot, move some more,
or move, advance, auto on 6, spend a command point. They now have assault weapons and hit on 2s, shoot, and then move again.
Mm-hmm.
27 inches out of the Land Raider.
Yeah.
So that's because of the 3 inches out. So that's a big part of it. I want to see if there's any play behind it. They might be too squishy. They might just hit a wall and drop,
mm-hmm.
and it might not work. But I brought 3 of them. So if one unit fails at its ideal objective, I can try it again 2 more times. So hopefully 1 out of the 3 works. If I go 0 for 3, then the entire idea goes squashed. Not going to happen. So, and then for you, you're bringing a fortification. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, it's the Miasmic Malignifier, which I have said correctly every time so far in the videos, but hold on, I'm going to say it wrong at some point. The Miasmic Malignifier is 115 points. It's the Plague Furnace. It's a fortification. It can infiltrate, I guess, so you can set it up pretty much anywhere on the table. But it, if you're wholly within 6 inches with your Death Guard unit, you're neg-1 to hit. So it gives you some extra durability. And if any part of your model is obscured by it, any part of your unit is obscured by any part of it, it gives you cover. Mm. So it's got lots of little spiky bits that stick out. So one of the things I've struggled with is when you're using rhinos as transport, rhinos are pretty squishy. So if you stick them out in the open, they get popped real easily. If you put them behind walls, they have to drive around the walls and get out there and deliver their Plague Marines danger close. So we're trying this. I'm going to put it out in the open. I'm going to put my rhinos all around it to give them those defensive buffs and see if it keeps them alive long enough for me to charge them out there. Of course, you don't have a ton of shooting, tank busting shooting in this your list you have, so it might not be a great test for that. But we're going to put it on the table. You get to see it.
I do. I mean, yeah, no, I don't have a lot, but we do have Land Raider with Las Cannon, which that Land Raider with Las Cannon, its job is specifically War Dogs, Rhinos. I'm not the las cannon's cool. Yes, I could hit a bigger. I could punch up, but it's not reliable to. Yeah. When I'm punching mid and just going for those mid units on with the Land Raider, that's when it usually is the most effective. So that is actually still valid because the Land Raider's job is just that.
Yeah,
you know, I want to pop a World Eater transport back in their backfield before they get into my face. That's where that goal is.
Yeah.
So Lane, I know you've had a long weekend. Long, exhausting weekend in Cincinnati. And as coming home as best painted, I'm just going to give you the option. Do you wish to deploy first or second?
No, I'll have you drop first.
All right. And then we'll be back after deployment. All right. We are deployed. So, Lane, why don't you talk to us about what we are going to be playing today?
Warhammer. Okay. Correct. So, our deployment today is Hammer and Anvil. So this is Hamburger, and then we've got the primary mission is one of my favorites, Purge the Foe. This is where you get 4 points for holding 1 objective, another 4 points if you hold more objectives than your opponent. You get 4 points if you kill a unit, and another 4 points if you kill more units than your opponent killed during the battle round. Hold 1, hold more, kill 1, kill more. And then the mission special rule is secret intel. After we pull our 2 secondary cards for the turn, if we want, we can pull a third one and discard one of those. We have to discard one, so we can't have 3 active, but we can pull an extra one, see if we can fish for better secondaries.
All right, so deployment-wise, over here for the Grey Knights, I have 1 interceptor squad that is currently going to start in Deep Strike. This Land Raider is also housing a squad of interceptors. And he's positioned so he's 10 inches away from a place so he can have a really good firing lane down these 2 spots and put those las cannons to work. Strike here are actually down below. They do have a scout move, so if I go first, I can tag that objective from a distance, try and get onto that. And then I have Strike over here touching this objective so that we can make that objective sticky when I go first, or when I go first, epic foreshadowing. I don't want to go first. I don't want to go first. I want to go second. Then there's this Crusader up here that's ready to start facing off in the middle. They also have an Interceptor inside of it, as well as the Purgation Squatter in there too. All right, Lane, over to you. What do we got?
We're ready to go. I put the Malignant Fire out front and put all the rhinos around it so they can't be shot. Then, or they can be shot. They're just neg 1 to hit and they get cover. And yeah, that's the plan. And then War Dogs are ready to go. I do have one of the War Dog Carnivores on my home objective. If DJ wants to deep strike near it, then he will get to chop them up in combat when we get there, if he tries to steal my home field objective. So that's it. The rhinos are full of Marines. The one squad that does not have a Foul Blight spawn has got the Biologist on top of the tank, if you're just paying attention. And as I mentioned before, this is not WYSIWYG. That's actually a Chainsaw because it's the Carnivore, the close combat variant. Everything else is WYSIWYG. Yeah, that's it.
All right, now it's just the time to... Oh, what did you have in Deep Strike? Just Nurglings?
Oh, a squad of Nurglings in Deep Strike, and then the 6-man brick of Death Shroud Terminators with the Lord of Virulence.
And the Lord Virulence is with them today.
Yep.
All right, only one thing left to do, and that's roll a dice. Hey, I'm not going first.
I am. Here we go.
All right, so it's going to be a DeathGuard turn 1. I got a scout move to make, and we'll shoot over to the DeathGuard.
So I pulled Cleanse and Investigate Signals. I didn't really like Investigate Signals, so I decided to pull a third one. I ended up pulling No Prisoners on the one turn of the game where I'm not going to get to kill anything. So I discarded No Prisoners. I'm sure I'm still going to get some points for killing things in this game, just not turn 1. But we got Cleanse and Investigate Signals. So the Fetid Bloat Drone booped over here to be within 9 to investigate a signal. And then mid-table, the Rhino is able to move up with its move to get on to the on this objective and Cleanse. And then the Carnivore scooched up there with his fast 14-inch move and got onto that objective. So I'm on 3 objectives. This Rhino advanced up here to be on this one. We're all over the place. Scored 7 points on the secondaries. Didn't get to kill anything. So if DJ does get 1 kill, he will get 8 primary points in turn 1. So I put that risk out.
That's juicy. That's juicy.
So we'll see if he can do it in his turn.
All right. So I'm totally not playing like I normally do, and I'm just going aggressive. Either these things are going to work, or Lane's going to beat me up quick, in which case he gets to go home early. Either way, we'll see how it goes. So for the turn, I ended up drawing 3 cards. One of my cards was Tempting Target, and I did not want to put in Lane's hands control over who, what, where, when, and how I was going to play my turn. Instead, I picked up Bring It Down, as well as Deploy Teleport Homers. So for Deploy Teleport Homers, the Striker back here, and they're just going to take care of that for me. And as far as everything else goes, yeah, we're going to try and do some damage. So we moved up here. Disembarked from the Land Raider. We can charge because it has an assault deck. And we're going to try and punk this this War Dog Carnivore over here. Out of this Land Raider, which did not move, my Interceptors came out a running. And they're going to be able to charge whatever happens over here. And my Purgation Squad came out. And they're on the bottom floor, but they will be able to draw a line of sight through windows to shoot things over here. We'll see how that does. Only AP 1, but it is 2 damage. Land Raider also is in position to be able to put some shots in the middle without fully dedicating itself. And the Purifiers here came back down from leaving the table just to sit on this objective because there's not really too much for them to do right now. Not a whole lot. No infantry of the DeathGuard on the table right now. All right, so that's going to be it. Let's do some shooting and see how this works out. All right, so not too bad. Not too bad. We were able to do some damage. This War Dog here got dropped down to 1 wound, but all of it from the Land Raider. Interceptors weren't able to plank it off. I don't think they even did 1 to him. I think that 1 wound is entirely just all the Land Raider. That's okay, though. They're most likely going to charge in and be able to finish it off there. Over here, I got to look. It's a decision. If I charge the Plague Marines, there's a good chance my Interceptors are dead. But if I don't charge the Plague Marines, there's a good chance my Interceptors are dead. So I kind of feel like I might just need to just charge in there and at least do some damage and hold them back for a turn. And I think that's probably going to be the best route around it. The Land Raider did good damage, and the Purge were also sufficient in being able to take out the Rhino, and do a little bit of damage to this War Dog back here. So that was it. Let's do some charges and see how this all plays out. All right, so we finished off with a solid turn of scoring on turn 1. Interceptors charged in, and we're able to finish off the Carnivore, only having 1 wound left. Then over here, I knew we're at the position I was in, and these guys had fight first. So I got beat up, lost 5.5 interceptors. The good thing is we're all 2 damage weapons and strike 6, so our hits are very, very damaging and can put an impact on that unit, and that they did. They were able to take 4 back. Probably going to lose that unit during my turn, but hey, I did some damage right now, and I need to do work on these Plague Marines when I can. So I got a 12 on secondary and an 8 on primary because I did kill more units, and that's going to be it for my turn. We're going to kick this over to DeathGuard and see how they answer back.
Secondaries for my turn are deploy teleport homers and engage on all fronts. I did not pull a third one because it seemed pretty good. I was pretty aggressive with my play. And, of course, I deep struck these guys, the Death Shroud. DJ did Overwatch with these guys, so he did pick up one of them and got one down to 1 wound. And then the Nurglings going to earn their points of... Then DJ or GW may have bumped them up to 40 points, but they're scoring me 5 points for deploy teleport homers. They're such good little guys. We moved everything forward.
And engage on all fronts.
Yeah. And Plague Marines are just pouring out of these Rhinos, moving up the field. Going to cause some mayhem.
Thought I was playing Death Guard, not Orcs.
Then this Brigand and Carnivore came around the corner here. The guys that were here bopped away with Mr. Demos. And the boat drone advanced to get onto this objective, just to make sure I had somebody over here. And that's it. We're going to start doing some shooting. See if we can kill some stuff. All right, I told DJ that I don't do a whole lot of shooting, but we did pick up the Purge squad here, the Purgation squad with shooting from these 2 units, just because I had a couple Plague Spears.
How Blight spawns wreck.
Yeah, I rolled hot on my number of hits, both the Plague Spewer from the regular Plague Marine and the Foul Blight Spawn. Rolled like 5s and 6s on all my Spewer hits, so it was really strong.
Also, you didn't mention about your Contagion. What your Contagion you're doing for this game.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the game we're doing the armor debuff. So because I controlled this objective in my command phase, it became infected, and the stink goes off to that. So it put this guy, Land Raider, in Contagion range. He's in Contagion range because of these Plague Marines here.
And the Purgation squad you murked.
And the Purgation squad, right. So it is stinking up the place, affecting people's toughness and their armor saves. So, yeah, we did drop in these guys. Remember, they lost a guy to Overwatch, but we picked up, 5 of the squad here?
Yep, 5 of them.
Yeah, and, because I spent the CP on the extra AP. DJ didn't have any CP left after Overwatching to True Silver, so I did scrape through some wounds on my Plague Splitters and Flamers there. That is about it. We did do a couple of damage here. I threw the grenade for free from this squad and took a couple wounds off. And surprisingly, the Plague Spewer did some damage there because it's strength 7, and I rolled hot on my number of hits and then some 5-ups. So that was the shooting. Now it's time to charge. It's time to get there and fight. We hope. All right, so we made some charges, wrecked the rest of the squad of, what were they? Interceptors. In the midst here. Went into the Land Raider, almost got him. A couple of my weapons are out of range here just because of close quarters, and I only rolled exactly what I needed for the charge. Got the Land Raider down to 2 wounds. So, did some damage there. The Carnivore only picked up 2 or 3 of these guys. The Carnivore is really good. His sweep attack is 12 attacks, but it only has 1 damage. And then his strike is good, but it's only 6 attacks. So it's not really great for chewing through squads of 2-wound Marine type things. It's better into either, sweeps of 1-wound infantry or into vehicles and stuff because it's D6 plus 2 damage. But I digress. We failed the charge over here. No big deal. We did some damage in the shooting anyways. And that's that. So on to DJ's turn. I did get 10 on secondaries because I deployed teleport homers in his deployment zone, and I engaged in all the fronts.
Alrighty, so for this turn, we got Assassinate, Storm Hostile, and Defend Stronghold was the third. as I just decided I was going to leave my home field objective marker. Ah, sad I won't get those 3 points. Nor will I probably get Assassinate, considering that all the characters are really dug in. Probably the best chance I had at killing a character would have been Crow charging in there, and since he's got precision and devastating, maybe he could have taken him out. And that's probably the best chance I would have had. So we'll probably just go after a command point, and we're going to storm hostile objectives. All right, that's done. Spend a command point to drop within 3 inches and take the home field objective marker. So, yeah, I was kind of prepping for that play, hoping to hit defend, capture enemy outposts or something, but that'll work. We also brought in the interceptors that were in deep strike and brought the purifiers back down because I picked them up. And we're going to try and do some damage to this floated blow drone. Then over here, we did fall back from combat since this guy only has 6 wounds left. We're going to try and let the Land Raider finish him off. And then we're going to pick up these Nurglings over here in the corner. So right now, Lane has 2 kills. Issue is, I'm probably going to lose this Land Raider over here. So I really would like to not and pick up more than 3 kills to get the extra on primary, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, all right, we'll do some shooting and see how this all plays out. All right, so shooting-wise, combination of the purifiers, the interceptor, as well as the strike, we're able to pick up the blow drone. Over here, the Land Raider did its job and took out the carnivore. And this Land Raider in the middle, well, he tried. So, and then the strike over here shot down some Nurglings. So all that's left is a charge. We're going to try and charge these Nurglings. And we're going to try a long bomb 9 into this. Yeah, not sure if that's the best idea, but I feel like I'm about to lose my Land Raider on the slapback, and that's going to tie us for kills in the turn if I pick up these Nurglings. All right, time to charge. So we stuck it. We landed the charge, and we almost took it out. Left it with 2 wounds remaining. You know, the one nice thing with Grey Knights is that AP2, that just the Nemesis Force weapon scattered throughout it is still a good weapon.
The fact that it's strength 6 is what's really good.
Right.
Like a Space Marine Captain's Mastercrafted Power Sword is only strength 5, but 6, that really pushes up.
Right, and be able to reach for things like these DeathGuard units that normally they wouldn't. As expected, the Strike Marines smacked the Nurglings off the field, and Land Raider was just no match for the lethal hits coming in from the Plague Marines, and he met his match and ended his day. So we drew on the kill more because we were only able to kill 3. I needed to take out the fortification, wasn't able to. So that's going to be the turn. We're going to pass it over DeathGuard. Oh, we did score 5 for storm hostile objectives, and we're pitching Assassinate for a command point. All right, over to the DeathGuard turn.
These are my first 2 objectives that I pulled. Storm hostile and bring behind enemy lines. So we're going to do those. So we already stormed hostile here. These guys rolled a big old 6 on their advance. They were able to get onto this objective and take it. It also has them behind enemy lines. That's the only unit I'll have behind enemy lines. But so I'll get 3 on behind and then 5 for storm hostile. But now, before we do that, we're going to do some shooting. So these rhinos are going to get to some shooting down here into these strike guys. And the Havoc will shoot his little, or the Carnivore will shoot his little Havoc launcher, shoot some flamer shots from here. You better believe this big old Plague Furnace is going to do its Plague Spitter shooter thing. And we'll see what we pick up. Because of my board position, I didn't have a whole lot of shooting to do. Also because my army doesn't really care that much about shooting. These guys advance on the objective, so no shooting. These guys are just kind of in the middle here. The rhinos shot downtown but didn't really pick anything up. So we just rolled on to the charges. And this Plague Marine squad, I popped the 1 CP strat for sustained and managed to pick that whole squad up. Rolled just well enough. The robotic weapons, the heavy plague weapons wounding on 2s really made a big difference. And then the Carnivore picked up the 5-man strike squad there. So we did clean up, killed 2 units this turn. But we are holding DJ to 0 on hold primaries at the start of his turn, and I scored 8 on secondaries, 5 for storm hostile objective, and 3 for behind enemy line. On to DJ.
if anyone think I was ever going to give up, you got to take every single one of my models out. I'm playing all 12 innings. So, and yes, that was the joke on purpose. So we had Jeep strike some units back in, and we made a little move. So we'll just go across the field. We drew area denial. Yeah, no. We drew behind enemy lines and cleanse. So behind enemy lines, we're set up with 2 units already, with the purifiers and the strike. Purifiers are probably going to need to adjust just a wee bit. Right here, just line you guys up a little bit. So even if the purifiers fail to charge, they're okay. Interceptors are going to try and charge onto this dude and see if we can't kill him from full wounds, having no damage on him at all, and just run in there and, oh, you know what? Hey, you know what? We got a Land Raider. All right. So I'm thinking there might be some play here. We could shoot him with a Land Raider. It might stand a chance. Let's see what we can do here. We need to pick up 3 kills, though. That's going to be the tough part. And these little strike landed over here. 1 command point within 3 inches. They're going to cleanse that objective just to get us a couple points on that. All right. We got his command point. We got a Land Raider. We got some shooting to do. Let's see what we can make happen. All right. Well, that was there needed to be some lucky dice roll for me to make it happen. And unfortunately, you know, when you need 9 lucky dice rolls, you can't expect to get all of them. Unless you're me. But unfortunately, we did not. So we got real close. We put a lot of damage on this guy with las cannons. I bolt drop him down to 5 wounds. Hit him with storm bolters, no effect, but I needed to land a 9-inch charge. And I spent the command point, did it all, could not do it. Otherwise, we did everything else we tried to. Over here, Crow and company came in here. The squad died, giving Lane an extra kill, but we were able to pick up a character and the squad just with Crow. Crow went off, but we weren't able to pick up the building, sadly, or the carnivore back here. So, c'est la vie. It's going to be DeathGuard just kind of doing some cleanup work. Good thing is I still have a full-strength Land Raider over here. There's nothing really over here that's got any anti-tank capabilities, you know, nothing that has 5-up crit lethal hits or anything like that happen to sticky an objective and doesn't need to stay over here. Oh, wait, that's the whole army. All right, over to DeathGuard. Let's let Lane punish me for other weeks of punishment.
Area denial, extend battle lines. Let's do it. So I zipped the Rhino back here just to make sure I got this home field objective. And then these guys just surrounded this home field, this objective. These guys just surround this objective. And then these guys are going to kill a Land Raider. Heck yeah. And then we've got this carnivore ready to go into Crow, and we'll see what happens. Well,
all right, so Lane, while he's counting out dice, Lane is charging in. He charged in the Land Raider. Still have 1 command point. Chose not to Overwatch. But over here, Lane charged Castle and Crow with his carnivore. And he has requested that I record his tank shock dice.
I get to tank shock DJ. He's always tank shocking me with those stupid Nemesis Dread Knights. So it's my turn. 14 dice, 5-ups are mortals on Crow. 1, 2, 3, just 4.
Just 4. So Crow will be left with 1 wound remaining. And we'll do some fighting and tell you what happens when we're done.
In an absolutely ludicrous turn of events, Stellan Crow is still alive. He only had 1 wound left after the tank shock, so I did this. He swung and failed to do any damage to the War Dog. However, the War Dog did his sweeps because he gets 12 attacks. And I think I did like 10 wounds, but DJ made 9 out of 10 4-up invulns.
Yeah.
And then Crow zeroes out 1 per phase. Is that correct?
1 per turn.
1 per turn, so he zeroed out the one he failed. So Crow survived, and then the biologist did nothing to him in fights. So, yeah. And we didn't pick up the Land Raider, so I got 0 kills so far, but it's still the top of the turn. So, anyways, the Land Raider's down to 5, and that's that. We had a little bit of fighting around back here, but not a whole lot happened. So, I did score area denial and extend battle line, so we are at 10 on secondaries.
All right, so I settled for this turn on overwhelming force and no prisoners. So taking units out on objective is going to be a good thing, or we're going to try and do over here. We still have some stuff alive, so we'll see what we can make happen and what we can do. Move the interceptors up. I'm going to try and shoot and see what we can't finish off over here. And since our Land Raider is still alive, we do have some damage potential with him being able to still see that War Dog. So that's what we're going to try and do and see how this works out for the turn. All right, hard work paid off. So in the shooting phase, we were able to hit with the Land Raider that's no longer there. We'll talk about that in a minute. And take out the War Dog. Then we charge the interceptors in. And the interceptors were able to finish off the furnace. Crow is still standing valiantly for now with 1 wound remaining. And then over here, nothing happened. I do want to say this Rhino actually did punk 2 of my guys because there was a dude with a wound on him. And then he ran it. Oh, no, there's still a guy with a wound on him. He did 3 wounds in combat because I could not make saves. And also that contagion range is real. So then in combat, the Plague Marines did finish off the Land Raider. So that was it. I did have a really good turn of scoring on some stuff. Like I killed more, so I got 8 there. I did still hold an objective, so I was able to score 4 there. And I was able to, I killed more, and I scored 7 on secondaries for no prisoners, and what was the other one?
Overwhelming force.
Overwhelming force, because I picked up the war dog carnivore thingy jigger. All right, over to Lane and his turn 5. All right, so Lane's speeding through this real quick, but I feel like there might be a little information passed forward. Lane is kind of just chilling on most of the objectives, a little bit of cleanup, but he is bringing these guys forward to charge and just get rid of Crow. Crow's done enough, being annoying enough. Looking at secure no man's land and capture enemy outposts. Well, you already did that, so now it's just a matter of getting in Crow.
I'm actually going to do one more thing. I'm going to spend 1 CP for this unit to throw grenades at Crow.
Can you throw grenades in combat with a unit that's in combat with an infantry model?
I believe you can. I don't think there's...
Well, he's gonna
grenades are weird. We're going to look it up real quick and be back. So we pulled capture enemy outposts and secure no man's land after I charged in. And he did pick up one of my characters. So he got a kill there. And then I killed Crow in response. And then these guys did finish off the Rhino. So DJ has already got 2 kills in my turn. So he will probably get kill more. He'll definitely get kill more for this turn unless he tries to charge into me with these guys and sacrifice them. So, but I did score both of my secondaries for 13 points there. And on to DJ's turn.
All right, so I got the package combo of capture enemy outpost as well as secure no man's land. And since I did already have this objective stickied because I controlled it with strike, I was able to leave that objective and get the strike to move over here. I don't know 100% if you're allowed to morale use the battle shock tactic stratagem in reserve, but I do have a 12-inch move because I could advance 6 with infantry. So either way, these guys were ending up over here to tag this objective marker. And that gave me secure no man's land. Then I just stayed here with the interceptors and didn't really care if I punched the Rhino or not. I just didn't want to get overwatched, and that captured enemy outposts. This allowed me to have more objectives, more kills in a big final turn to give us a final score. Grey Knights, 98 to a DeathGuard, 98. This is the first tie I think we've had on the channel. Entirely.
I don't remember if we've had one before. So yeah, this may be it. History is made here, folks.
Yes, the first draw. I'll walk away that happy draw. I really, honestly, in any other mission setup and mission format, I probably would have lost this game. And we'll talk about that more in the post game on some of that stuff. If you do want to get into the theoretical of it, Lane did score a 48 on secondary versus my 47 on secondary, but secondaries do cap at 40, and that's where the draw ended up occurring. So, yeah, it was an excellent game. A very weird finish. Grey Knights do what Grey Knights do. This is the way I played them in the past, where they score a lot of points, and they're able to just keep pressure on secondaries and primary in the weirdest way. And Lane and his DeathGuard utilized the ability that I could really, man, these Plague Marines were MC Hammer today. You could not touch this. Getting close, they flame you. Move, they flame you. Charge them, they fight you. And there was not much I could do about these Plague Marines. So we'll scoot over to the post game. Again, final score, Grey Knights 98, DeathGuard 98. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again soon.